5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Space. The final frontier. With so much unknown about our universe, it's no surprise that humanity is drawn towards exploring and researching space and what it can offer us as a species. Brave astronauts like Barry Butch Wilmore and Sunita Williams literally putting their lives on the line so that humanity can learn more about our existence. Okay, hold up a second. Barry Butch Wilmore is 1000% the name of a protagonist in a 1980s sci-fi movie who would sacrifice himself to save humanity. Tell me I'm wrong, I'll wait. Anyways, getting back to the main topic here, because the government is so horribly inefficient at doing literally everything, they have outsourced a lot of space exploration and research to private companies like SpaceX or Blue Origin. But only recently have Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos been the go-to billionaires for NASA. Historically, it's actually been Boeing who's one of the largest hardware providers for NASA, and they extract billions of dollars every single year from taxpayers in the name of space exploration and research. And Boeing has had a little bit of a colored past between dead whistleblowers showing up and planes practically falling out of the sky every other week, not to mention the CEO who gives himself millions of dollars in bonuses every single year, which seems to be at the cost of maintenance and safety checks.
What is it that you get paid currently?
That's a big number, sir.
Well, let me help you out. It's $32.8 million this year. Does that sound right?
Yes, it does.
What is it you get paid to do exactly?
I get paid to run the Boeing company.
Yeah. Safety. Is that a component of your salary?
It sure is, Senator.
You know, have you seen the reports that the subcontractor that you use to make that door piece that fell out of the sky, that when the FAA went and toured the facility, they found one door seal being lubricated with Dawn liquid dish soap and cleaned with a wet cheesecloth, and another was being checked with a hotel room key card. Does that sound like safety to you?
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
It's really no surprise that the spaceship that they manufactured is a giant piece of shit. But you know what's not a piece of shit? The stickers you can buy from my website, everythingsuckssupply.com. I design and illustrate these fun little stickers and you can slap them anywhere. Your laptop, your car, your phone, your mom, your dad, your dog, wherever you want to slap them, they will stick. If you end up liking these stickers and want to buy one, it's a great way to support me and the channel beyond the liking and subscribing that you can already do for free. So if you enjoy the content and want to throw a few dollars my way and get a cool sticker in return, check out everythingsuckssupply.com and use the code CRASHLANDING to save 10% on your checkout. And with my shameless self-promo out of the way, let's jump back into the video. Now maybe you've heard of this, maybe you haven't, but there is a spaceship called the Starliner, and it's been manufactured or produced, whatever you want to say, by the Boeing company. It's a spaceship that was commissioned by NASA that would be capable of taking people to the International Space Station and then bringing them back to Earth. It could essentially go back and forth and back and forth. It's a huge deal in the world of space travel and space exploration and research. But the Starliner spaceship has been an absolute nightmare project for both NASA and Boeing. This thing was supposed to be operational back in 2017, but because of management issues, engineering problems, failed missions, this thing has been set back by nearly a decade. NASA originally approved a budget of over $4 billion for Boeing to manufacture and produce this spaceship, while in contrast, SpaceX was able to produce their Crew Dragon for around $2.6 billion, and Boeing has exceeded their budget by $1.5 billion already. Every single day that I live and breathe, I become infinitely less confident in Boeing as a company. At this point, I don't think I would trust them to clean my toilet bowl. And all of these problems and failed missions lead us into Butch and Sunny being literal guinea pigs for the first crewed mission of the Boeing Starliner. Originally, their mission was going to require them to only be in space for about a week, but after safety concerns and mechanical issues, they are stuck in space until at least February of 2025. And that's assuming nothing else goes wrong between now and then. Oh, and by the way, they've already been in space since June 5th. They've already been up there for 3 months. Imagine you go into work, you're expecting to put in about 6 days, and you get told, actually, no, you're gonna have to be up here for another 6 fucking months. Why would you test something like this with real living human beings on it, especially since the thing can land by itself? It did land by itself literally yesterday.
You can see Starliner in a slight tilt, so we're going to see the rotation handle move here shortly, and it will level out Starliner.
This view still coming to us from the Cessna. We've got just about a minute left to go until the expected touchdown.
Touchdown. Starliner is back on Earth.
I feel like testing it with crash test dummies or maybe some of those new AI Chinese robots that I've been seeing around, that would be a significantly better idea than putting real human people who have relationships and lives here on Earth in the spaceship. It's not like historically there have been any horrific catastrophes with space travel. Not to mention that the Starliner has done uncrewed missions before. Back in May of 2022, it did a completely uncrewed 6-day mission where it flew up to the ISS, hung out for a few days, and came back to Earth completely remote controlled. And so what was so important that Sunny and Butch needed to be on this spaceship as it flew to the ISS? Well, it's a huge deal, like I said earlier, to be able to reuse spaceships. Right now, or at least historically, a lot of spaceships have been sent up, they're single use, and then the pods that people come back in are not able to launch back into space. So being able to do this would be revolutionary for exploration, for research, and would even open the door to interplanetary travel or space tourism. It really is a huge deal that this type of research is happening, and it's very cool. So Butch and Sunny were supposed to fly up to the ISS, spend a week monitoring the systems and the ship, reporting back to NASA, and then return on June 14th. Their mission was literally to watch the spaceship, make sure it doesn't explode, and then come home. Why did you put people on it? I don't understand why. Why did you have to put these people on this spaceship? Couldn't NASA just do all of that remotely? There was already a crew on the International Space Station. There's already people there. Couldn't you call them and be like, hey, have a look out the window. There's gonna be a spaceship. Let us know if it gets there or not, and then send it back. I don't understand why you had to have people on the damn thing. And so what ended up happening was, while the ship was traveling to the ISS with Butch and Sunny on it, NASA and Boeing engineers noticed that there were some mechanical issues as well as a helium leak. And so when it got to the International Space Station safely, they got off and NASA basically was like, okay, what the fuck is going on?
Fuck.
What's wrong?
Seriously? Auto-updating now? Fuck!
Boeing.
Well, it turns out that the issues that happened during the flight were known issues. This was a problem that a month before had delayed the original launch of the Boeing Starliner. And surprising literally nobody on Earth, Boeing didn't fix the fucking problem, and it came back while it was flying to the International Space Station. And so thankfully, NASA was the voice of reason, and they decided that since they had made the journey successfully to the ISS, they were going to send the ship back uncrewed to Earth so that if anything did happen on the return flight, nobody would at least die. And it's a good thing that Boeing wasn't a part of that conversation. I'm sure they would strap the astronauts to the front of the spaceship, send them back hurtling towards Earth in the hopes that they would get some more budget money from NASA, and they'd claim that it was just a sacrifice to a sun god or something. So on September 7th, just a couple of days ago, the Starliner did return to Earth, uncrewed with nobody on it, and it did it completely successfully. Aside from leaving the two people that were on the ship in space.
I feel like we're forgetting something important.
It was a mission success, aside from the fact that the people who were in the thing did not come home. And Butch and Sunny in an interview actually said that they had full confidence that the ship would be able to return them home. They were completely confident in the ship being able to bring them back to Earth. But it was NASA who said, we don't want to take unnecessary risk. We're not going to put people on this just in case something bad happens.
I feel confident that if we had to, if there was a problem with the International Space Station, we can get in our spacecraft and we can undock, talk to our team, and figure out the best way to come home.
And I can't imagine how disappointed I would be if I was one of the astronauts and NASA was like, no, we're not sending you back on the spaceship that got you there perfectly fine, perfectly safely, even though the problem was a problem that was known and Boeing didn't fucking fix it. Even though you made it there, it's an unnecessary risk. We want to save human life. And then the ship makes it back perfectly fine and you're just sitting on the ISS looking back at Earth like, man, I really fucking wish I could go to Chili's or something. thing. And listen, I understand that NASA wants to be cautious. They want to preserve human life in every possible situation, but I would just be so disappointed if I was one of the astronauts. And so after the successful return of the Starliner, it was decided that Butch and Sunny would be coming back with the Expedition 71 crew in February on a SpaceX Dragon cruise ship. They've completely abandoned the idea of Boeing putting human beings on anything that moves.
You know, that actually happened? Of course it happened. I think this.
And this is a massive L for Boeing, in my opinion. Not only are you over budget by almost $2 billion on your spaceship, that's also almost a decade late to being operational. You've only launched the thing 3 times in the last 7 years, and the first time you put human beings on it, you have to abandon them and leave them in the void of space. And all of this is because of a problem you knew about a month before the launch and didn't fix properly, so it came back. Now Butch and Sunny have to spend 8 months of their life floating around in space when originally they were only anticipating to be up there for 7 days.
6 months later.
I just want to go home.
And apparently while they're up there, they have been hearing weird pulsing sounds coming from, I think, the spaceship, like the Starliner. It might have been from the ISS. I don't actually know where the pulsing sound was coming from. I'm not a scientist or an astronaut. I'm just rereading what I saw.
There's a strange noise coming through the speaker, and I didn't know if you could connect into the Starliner and let me keep mic and let you hear it. I don't know what's making it, but I don't know if it's something that maybe is connected between here and there, making that happen. But anyway, can you do that?
We can configure that, Butch. Give us a minute, and I'll call you back when it's ready.
All I know is I sure as shit hope that it was the spaceship making a weird pulsing sound that the astronauts who do this for a living couldn't identify, and not some weird alien xenomorph coming to enslave humanity. And even though Butch and Sunny are both veteran astronauts, I can't imagine the toll that this would be taking on them both physically and mentally. The training that astronauts undergo is different depending on the length of time that you're going to be spending in space. They specifically need to train on how to maintain their physical and mental health because of the damaging toll that living in space for extended periods of time has on your body. And there's a huge difference between spending 6 days and 8 months in space, in case you didn't know. I have no idea if they're being compensated more than their original salary for doing this, but I assume they are going to be getting life-changing amounts of money from NASA since they are spending 35 times the amount of time in space than they originally anticipated. And if they aren't getting more money, I might riot on their behalf. Boeing as a company would probably be worth doing a deep dive into on its own video because they do a lot more than just manufacture really shitty airplanes and spacecraft. They manufacture and sell airplanes, rotocraft, rockets, satellites, and missiles worldwide. They're the 4th largest defense contractor in the world based on 2022 revenue, and they are the largest exporter in the United States by dollar value. This is actually a super interesting Wikipedia. Like I said, maybe another dedicated video to just Boeing. They have an entire section in the Wikipedia dedicated to crashes and groundings. Anyways, being stuck in space sounds like literal nightmare fuel to me. I'm glad I get to sit here in my cozy little office and make stupid YouTube videos. Like the video, maybe subscribe. I'll see you next time. Peace.